Gentlemen, so good to see you again. This is another episode of BMVT Audio Nerd Diary, and we're still in the F-Stomp Project. It's about the process of bringing a song sketch to a completely produced electro swing track. Let me just turn up the volume again. In the last episode, I did some cleanup with the grand material delivered to me by my colleague Felix. He did some guitar playing and some bass playing. There is a very good electro swing set actually available on our Soundcloud page, where you can hear him improvising over a DJ set. And now I played some classical guitar tunes here and some bass lines, and we are in the process of making a track out of it. Just to repeat what I did last time, I built some groups, I separated the pre-mixed drum tracks, and I turned the volume down of all the tracks a bit so the master is not clipping. And then I said I am going to do some kick and bass work this time. I promised myself I won't make that gesture at the start of the video, but actually I couldn't take it any longer. First things first, this is the Cocoa Chocolate Merlot from 2015. Oh, I should have cleaned the glass a bit better. Well, you can't see that on that resolution. Let's see. That should come along nicely. I brought somebody to support me. Please meet Regina. For my friends from the US, please don't spell her Regina or pronounce her Regina. That is inappropriate. Regina is a Hohner accordion, and actually it's connected to a microphone. And why she's here is basically because the bass sound is, for my feeling at least, or in my opinion, is at the same time very warm and yet powerful in the bass frequencies. So I'm going to use her as a low support for the recorded bass. Let's see if that works out. But let's go into the project first. Alrighty. Let's see, is that the view you wanted to have? Oh, look, you can see my fingers. That's nice. There is a speaker, it's a monitor box, that's a wine glass, that's a water glass, and then you can see some Ableton project as well. Okay, maybe we can look for an area in this project where we are going to work on. I think I placed some locators in here the last time. Let's see if they are placed correctly. There should be a chorus here. Is there some guitar? Wait a second. Okay, I'm going to set a loop here. That should be a good area to work on kick and bass and the other drums. The one thing I'm going to do first, before I start working on this now, we have some areas in the songs pre-marked, and I thought it would be nice to put the different transitions or intermediate steps of this song on SoundCloud, so you can follow the progress by listening to it. I'm going to render. What I'm going to render? 49 to 97. Control Shift and R is a shortcut for rendering. You can see that now. That's a full screen view. Okay, I'm going to render a WAV file from this one here. Basically, I'm going to do WAV because Ableton is basically only able to do WAV. Short remarks on the rendering process. If you want to do a neutral rendering without any changes to the audio material you're hearing in Ableton, you will choose 48,000 samples and 32-bit. You can see the Dizzer options grayed out. If you choose 16-bit, you're basically reducing the resolution, and thus there is a diminishing quality in the audio. I can't hear it, but people who are more advanced than I in all these things will definitely be able to hear that, hopefully. Basically to reduce the impacts of any audio artifacts, you're using dithering. Dithering is the adding of a certain noise that will compete with the audio artifacts that result from the quality loss. I hope that explanation helps you along. If not, then please Google it. All right, just to do some export. This is, I'm going to put that on the desktop because I'm such an organized person. This is F-Stomp, I call it V0. That's the first version from the end of our last podcast here. Is it called a podcast on YouTube? I don't know. All right, rendering looks like this. There aren't too many plugins here, so rendering is quite fast. And done. Okay, then we can start working on the whole thingy here. Okay, I chose a loop of 4 bars here. Okay, that thing I haven't done last time, so I'm going to put an high pass filter on the rhythm guitar. I put that one on the other drums, but you obviously you should do that on the rhythm guitar as well to keep some room for your bass. Should I do anything else? No, I think that's cool. You can hear that 1 kilohertz or above is a bit harsh. The question is how much of the lower sound you want to have. Now basically Felix told me that he wants for the later guitar he wants something that sounds like the old Django Reinhardt recordings, a bit in that direction, and I think that's a very good approach for this type of guitar playing, and thus I will need some of the lower frequencies. You might even add some resonancy here. That will give you the boxy sound of the old guitars, or of a guitar with a low quality micro maybe. But let's keep it this way to have all nicely decide for the bass. Okay, first thing you want to do when mixing a bass is quite obviously kick is here. Let's listen to the bass and the kick. Why don't I hear what's with the bass going on? Okay, obviously you know that's pretty basic. The thing you're going to do with any bass track is you put some side chaining on it. As I said, I'm going to add Regina to the bass as well, so I'm going to do the first side chaining for this bass specifically. That's a glue compressor. It adds some more warmth, although in this case it's not absolutely necessary. My sidechain put in is obviously the kick. Let's see how that works. Obviously not too much because we need to adjust the threshold. Okay. what's happening now, it's just sounding a bit quieter. Okay, basically, if you do too much of the side shading, you get that pumping effect. You might want that for some music. In our case, it's not that desired. We do a rather fast attack, so it doesn't interfere with the kick and doesn't take too much of the possible energy at the same time. I think we could do a bit more. And then let's play along a bit with the release. That's an auto release. It's a very slow release, so it doesn't come up to the volume it had before. I think that should be quite okay. It's the first step. Let's compare that. At the same time, to make a fair comparison, we're going to add some makeup to the bass sound. Okay, so that is somehow in the direction of what you want to achieve. Should we give that one a name? Sidechain kick. Sidechain kick. Alrighty. So that's our sidechain kick working here. Very nice. Then and the next thing I was going to do is we're going just to take a look at the kick right now, and obviously the first thing we can throw in here is an equalizer. You can use that little button here to make an analyzer appear. So bass frequency, if you haven't heard that, is G. That's quite cool because on the one hand, 50 Hertz is something most PAs can accomplish to build as a sound, and on the other hand, a G isn't too bad for the scale we are in. To recall that we're in D minor, we might want to alter the pitch a bit. Let's see how that sounds. I'm just for convenience, I'm going to consolidate that track, and we're going to go from the G to the A. That's 2 strokes. Is it? Yes. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, that. Okay, and then we can compare that to the other kick. Okay, I would say the kick isn't losing too much by this pitch shift. I'm going to do it still on the complex rendering mode. And I think that's rather appropriate. Okay, so we have done a little pitch shift on the kick. Then let's look at the equalizer. Actually, now we're seeing the bass frequency is an A. that is very good. Things work in Ableton. What we can do is put a little low pass on it for all the stuff that goes below it, and then we can. Well, obviously you can drastically raise that frequency to make it a bit bass heavier. Maybe let's keep it that way. Okay. Now, obviously, for the kick, because it's a dominating thing in an electronic music track, you want all the frequencies. So, what you won't do is put a low pass on it. And low pass is what I'm doing right now. You can do that for some hip hop stuff, and other stuff. But with the thing we are doing right now, we want a natural sounding kick, and B, we wanted to really cut through the entire song, so the kick is dominant. All right, let's see what my little what the little knowledge I acquired in the last years also brings up. So I'm going to cut out 200 hertz. You can hear that. Actually, okay. What I'm going to do now is what I'm doing right now is I'm doing some frequency sweeps to see if there's anything in that kick sound that bothers me if I really exaggerate it. Now, with my not too well trained hearing, I would say there's nothing that really bothers me. But as I said last time, this is a produced kick, so that sample has been well made up, I would say. You could always reduce some of the lower mids to gain something for the body of the instruments. But on the other hand, then again, you're losing a bit of the character of the kick. So I'm going to do that, not too much. And one thing we can also check if this has been done right. Let's switch to mid and side mode of the equalizer. You can do that here. So mid and side. So these are our mids, and then you see a gray curve in the background. That is the sides. Side signal are the signals that are different on the left and the right channels, and what you do not want to have is any side channel information on the lower frequencies, because that in a club can really bug you, because there will be conflicting low waves, and you will suck the power out of the song. I think that's perfectly doable to do a very high pass here. Also, let's see if we can gain some characteristics we want to have now. Let's see if in high shelf. But maybe in high shelf on the mid, on where the large portion of the energy is. I think that is not to the worst. Let's do that. That's good. All right, so that's the equalizer of the kick. I hope I haven't moved too far from the microphone so you could hear what I was talking about. So again, this is already a produced kick. So what I've done, I tuned it in with the bass, basically by shifting it from the G to the A. Then I added some energy to that low fundamental frequency of the kick. I reduced some of the lower mids because actually I want to have some space for the guitars that are going to have some energy in that field as well, and then some high shelf to make it cut through a bit more. And also I've seen some little side channel energy here. So I have applied a high pass to the side signal. All right. Now, what you would do with some bass signals, you could also ensure that they are in mono and not in stereo. For this signal, actually, you will completely understand that it is not necessary because we're just seeing one line. This is a mono signal. This is a mono recording with a single microphone, so there is no need to make it mono. So that is sure. So all the low frequencies are in mono in the mid, and that's where they're supposed to be. Okay, let's listen to this one again. Bass and kick. And then we have the then we have the side chaining and the little amplifier here for the bass, and then we could actually add an equalizer as well. Okay, once again I'm going to do a low pass for the very, very low frequencies. Okay, it's very nice because now we have the A for the kick, and that is actually the note the bass plays also on some of the second and fourth hits. Okay, let's see if we can make up some space again for the guitars. Oh, actually, we are having some frequencies that we might want to kick out. So that is not too nice. We can do a little reducing here, and let's see. Yes. Okay. Filter is not what we want to have here. Let's see, this is a shelf setting right now. Okay, and then obviously as I said before, this is a mono signal, so you can see there's no side information for this one, so I can use the stereo setting of the equalizer, obviously. Okay, I'll reduce some frequencies of it, and again we can try to put some energy to the A. That's pretty nice because it's the fifth of our bass note of the scale we are in, so that's always cool. That should add some nice little energy. As I was going to say. All right. Then I already did with the side chaining. I did some makeup for the bass, so I added some sound. Now what we're still seeing here, there's some in the bass sound itself. There's some variance. Obviously, this was played manually, and we shall have, because this is an electronic track, we will equal this out a bit with a compressor. And now I have just seen that most of the sound stops at the 1K, so I'm going to add a compressor that's supposedly adding some overtones as well. This is an emulation of a very famous compressor which name I forgot actually, but if you see the controls, this is a very, how was that thing called? I don't know. Is it L2A2, LA2A? I don't know. Anyhow, you have like an input, so it's a level of stuff that's going in, and then you can adjust the output channel. That's the ratio you're compressing with. You can set the meter to the gain reduction you're applying, or you can do the level. So there's not too much difference in the notes. So first things I want to have is not too much of a gain reduction. I set the ratio to 1:4, and I'm going to reduce the input a bit, so it's not affecting it too much. The attack should be a bit faster actually, because the difference is at the start of the notes. then we can play along with the release a bit later. Okay, so what I'm seeing right now here is I have gain reduction of roughly 6 dB. I'll turn it down a bit and then give it some more output. Actually, I'm sorry for the crackling. I think that is mostly due to the sound transfer from Ableton to the rendering video software I'm using. I can show you that one here. I have done that for another tutorial. Basically, I'm putting out an Windows driver sound signal and transferring the ASIO signal to it, and I think the crackling is coming from that one. So please don't mind that. It's not that I'm hammering on a gramophone here all the time. Okay. Now you can see what happens if I raise the output. And I'm going to put the output high to play along with the release time. Now, what I have been told is that if you have a faster release time, there's more of a feeling of an upfront sound right in front of you. And I would say I feel the same thing right now, but actually, if I'm quite frank, I'm having a lack of experience to say that. But what I'm doing, I'm going rather for the faster version of it, and then adjust the output level so that I am content with the mix of the bass and the kick. Okay. Let's see how that sounds if we... Okay. And the thing one should always do to check if you're doing the right thing. I can group all this stuff together to an audio effect rack, so I can deactivate all the effects at the same time. What I can hear, and what I dare to say, what I hear is that it obviously is that it has been equaled out a bit. It's more separated from the kick. Actually, I think I might put a little bit of longer release time on the side chain. Yeah. So. That's the first step for the bass and the kick. Now, as I have changed the tune of the kick, let's give this one a different color. Can you see that? Yes, very well. And let's copy this loop. Actually, what you could do also, if you want to, is you could put that kick sound into a drum rack or an instrument rack, and then set up a MIDI track to make that sound play at the positions you want it to have. That is 4 bar, and that is 2 bars and 1 stroke. I'm doing the lazy version right now for me. Duplication duplicate stop. What's that? That's 2 bars. 2 bar 2 2 2 2. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh look how professional I am at working. Okay, and what else do we have here? Okay. No, I want that sound. That's my new kick. I would love to have another sip of that wine, but actually my hands are occupied right now. See how bad my life is. Right. Oh, I had that section. Yes, any fun facts? Okay, I got a remark from Felix last time. I elaborated on how this later part of the track still needs some working, and that we need to refine the entire structure of it. I was told that this was definitely that Felix was aware of that, and that this was not done out of inability of structuring a song, but it was just to give me some playground. Okay, so this was done on purpose. All right. Also, I was told that the bass should play here and here, and that is just deactivated because of a very annoying touchpad thing. That's the thing I have learned also the hard way. I started with a laptop and a touchpad, and did this for 1.5 years, and then I just got a desk and a mouse and a keyboard, and you're basically twice as fast. So do not do that on a laptop unless you're in the airplane or a train or whatever. All right. Okay, let's have another listen to it and see what else we can do. Maybe with the kick. I love that kick sound. I won't do too much about that kick sound because it is quite good as it is. We can play along with some saturation on the bass, maybe. What kind of feeling do we want to have? So this is sort of a baseline saturation plugin. You can get the saturation knob for free from Softube. It's just good. Like it is a one knob saturator. It also sounds quite nice. We need to turn down the volume of the bass then a bit, but okay. I want to compare that to the version I had before, so I'm going to add an utility. And then again, I'm going to group these two. So basically, because if the saturator is also kind of an amp, so it turns up the volume at the same time it adds the overtones, and I do not want the volume to be turned up. I just want the overtones. So I want to compare that, and that's another important basic rule. Don't be fooled by volume. Like if you do that mix down, my speakers right now are basically far below the level I'm talking to you. I think in most cases it is good to mix with as low volume as possible, because basically something that sounds very good at low volume will sound grand at the volume cranked up. On the other hand, if you're getting smashed and just want to have some fun in front of the speakers and do some beat stuff that you put to the trash bin the next morning, then crank up the speakers. That's perfectly okay if your neighbors are cool with that. All right. Okay, so again, I'm having the saturation here, And now, as you heard, the volume is coming up. So let's put that on solo here. So that is the important thing. Like, you're not having a huge volume change. If I'm turning off the utility, see, it's much louder, and louder always sounds better. So don't let yourself be fooled by that. Okay, so I have the saturation and the utility to adjust the volume to it. And then I can turn off that thing without any noticeable volume change, but a change in the character of the sound. You see, one of the notes is not... That's the second one. All right. Okay, I think that sounds quite good. Like, there's coming some it is warmer, the sound, so that's a good way to do it. Okay, let me just adjust the tempo of it. Let's go into this one here. So as you can see, that's a recording. We have the notes here. I don't want to be every of the notes to be exactly on the click, because that will sound a bit too mechanical, but we can adjust some of them, where you can notice the a bit dragging tempo behavior. So I'm going to adjust the, can you see that actually? I need to change. So I'm going to adjust the warp algorithm, and then we are going to set, let's see, do we have, because if I'm moving the first note right now, it will move any note. So this one is very close to the beat. I'm going to set a warp marker here with a double click, and then I'm going to move that one on the beat. Okay, so that's my first beat. I can set 111 here, so it's just more comfortable count. Okay, so they all look good. Then we can fix this one here. It's not entirely on the beat, but it's okay to fix it. The thing is, if you have such a long loop, then if you're moving with the warp markers, again, all the stuff that comes behind it and before it will be moved if you move one of the warp markers there. But there are very nice tutorials on this one. So basically, I have the beginning of the third bar and the beginning of the fifth bar, and they are perfectly on my metronome, I would say. And then I see that here's a bit of dragging. This one is fairly okay. These little arrows here is when Ableton detects a transient, and you can move these arrows if you want to. Like, you can tell, okay, that's not the transient, but it comes a bit before that. So hold down the shift button, and then you can move that transient, and then you can move it on that beat again. So this is a nice way to not have it perfectly matched, but just a bit adjusted so it doesn't sound the way we heard it before. All right, so bar 6. I'm doing this purely from the visual impression I'm having right now. People with better hearing skills than I have will obviously do that by hearing it. Oh wait, that was interesting. Okay, I didn't know that function. That I hold the control button. What's he doing? And then look, that's interesting. That's good to know. Nice. Okay, I hold the control button and then he will keep the two transients next to the one I'm moving. Oh, that is very nice. And you are about to witness live as I discover this feature. That is astonishing. Good work, Ableton. Okay, very, very nice. Again, if you do not want the markers to be exactly on the beat, you can turn off the grid with Control and 4. And then you can switch it on again for a better visual impression. The wine is very good. All right, moving that one. Nice. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, let's move that one a bit. Okay, so that's the loop we're using. Let's go back to what we have heard. So the first beat. Bam, bam. Let's turn on the click. So in the second bar, there's stuff that we might still change with. There's this little sound before. Did it? Okay. We can cut that out for the sake of a clean bass, or we can just keep it there. Actually, if I would start cutting that out, I would cut all the audio trash I'm having here. Another way of handling that might be a gator. Let's add a gator. Gator would come obviously at the beginning of my effect chain. And let's see how we set that one. You should have a full screen view. Okay, the important part is, yeah. So he's cutting out that one, and then you can set the floor of the gator. So I don't want it to be that harsh because there's some warm sound I don't want to drop. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, and then again in the second bar, this one should be moved a bit front, I would say. And hope I'm not destroying the character of it. But let's have a listen to it with the entire audio chain. Okay, that seems reasonable. Now I have changed this loop with the warping and the tempo markers. So I'm going to change the color of it so I can. What color would you suggest? I think in the light of the approaching spring, we're choosing sunny yellow. All right, so I'm going to copy that. Yes. I knew it. So that is 4, 8, 11 bars. Sure, 11 bars. Why not? 8, 11 was that right? Anyhow, what you can do is you copy that one and then just drag it to the desired length. Okay, there's a different ending, so I'm going to work with that later. That seems reasonable. All right. Okay. Then let's see what Regina can add to this one. I'm going to add another track to my bass group, and I'm going to call it Regina, obviously. Okay, I'm going to use an input here. I have the line 3 of my sound card connected, that one that's in. I'm going to record here. And then let's go to the panel of my sound card and to see what I have here. Actually, if you're wondering, that is an RME Babyface sound card. From what I know, it's just cool. It is incredibly fast. Look at these. Where do we have it? Look at these latency values, 6.6 milliseconds. And it's perfectly handling large projects in Ableton with 128 buffer size. So that is absolutely grand. And the other thing that is absolutely good with this sound card is you can adjust the routing of all the channels with the software. Like I have routed my main software output to one of the digital outputs I'm not using, and then I activated the loop back to loop that output actually back to the corresponding digital input, and that digital input I'm routing to my Reaper session, from where I'm routing it to the Windows audio driver to the software I'm doing the video recording with. Isn't that astonishing? Okay, but anyhow, I'm having here the that's an accordion. That's my accordion microphone here. You can see that it's already reacting a bit to the sounds I'm making with the other microphone. I have to move around a bit. Yes. Okay, let's see. I'm still here. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, I should turn that up a bit so we actually hear something. Okay, I'm going to use the lower 3 octaves I'm having on the bass register of this accordion. And then it's going, I think the bass was going D, E, B flat, A, wasn't it? That's a large jump on the accordion. Yeah, not the F. Okay, this is going to take some time, so this video might be 2 hours with me trying this bass line. But the one thing I was going to find out is, does that sound well with the other bass? Let's see if that level is good. I'm going to crank up the bass on this microphone again. So I want a rather not too hot, but hot input. And then what I have in my user library is presets of audio. No, I have a default audio effect, and it's called accordion bass. I used this accordion bass on another track I'm having. Let's have a quick walk through this this thing here. Okay, so there's, as you can obviously see, there's an equalizer. I'm having a kick duck as well set up. I'm going to use the input here. I have the thing I did with the other thing as well, equaling out all the stuff with something I call a block builder, and then some amplifiers and sounds and all that stuff. We're going to see to that later. Let's go back to our loop. There we are. what I'm trying to achieve is to get more of a sub bass leveling sound here that stays along. So it's not giving the melody, but well, let's see if that idea turns out to be the thing I had in my head when I was trying to do that. Right now I can only hear the accordion in the room because it's much louder than the speaker and all the stuff I'm recording with. Let me turn down my speakers for a second. So my signal of the microphone does not record all my talking along. And then I would need some headphones, but I'm going to record it just by the visuals right now. Hit the record button, and then we are in a loop, so I can easily wait. That doesn't work. Wait a second. Okay, that doesn't work without the headphones because I have no fucking clue where I am. I'm just going to quickly check the sound. Let's turn this one off here so it's not reacting to the inputs. Turning up the speakers again. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. I can hear you. I can hear myself, so that's cool. So what I'm just going to check if that one, if that character sounds the way I want it to have. Okay. Actually, what I'm thinking is that doesn't sound too bad. So there's an opportunity here to have maybe some bass in some areas where we do not want the melody bass to play, or maybe some lower support when I add frequency change to the other bass and focus on the higher frequencies of that one. But I'm not too sure about it, so I'm going to try along, and I need to play with the microphone to record that one. Not with the microphone, but with my headphones on, so I actually have the tempo of the song. But actually, this will take some time, and I think the video has gotten long enough right now. So I'm going to take that as a homework for my next video, so I can show you the result, and you're not getting bored by me getting all my stuff for the recording. One last thing for today, when I did this, the last cleanup work on the track, I got to bed later on, and then I had this little earworm of a melody that might come along nicely with the track, but I'm not too sure about it. So I just recorded it the next day, and so just to give you an impression of what I did there, it is basically just a guitar, piano. Okay, I don't know if I will integrate that into the song, but maybe I will. And we will see us next time when I'm going to do some work on the guitars, on the equalizers, and all the mixdown of the guitars. And then we're going to see to the other melody elements that might come along nicely with this track. See you next time. You can hear the two versions of the song on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com, BMVT. Bye.